Building an indie business in the center of venture capital. I am Alex Edmonds, also known as SupremeRumHam on the internet, and this is the Building an Indie Business podcast. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about how to create an album. So a little backstory on this is I have invested in a friend's album, right? So I'm helping them create it, right? So financially I've invested and I'm just helping them optimize everything to be, the best as possible, to be as successful as possible, to get as many downloads as possible. So I'm going step by step with him. It's basically like I'm creating the album with him, right? So that's what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about how we have created the album and how we are listing the album for this episode. In other episodes, I'll talk about the other aspects of creating an album. So I'm going to be talking about how we have actually created the album step by step. And I'm going to be talking about record labels and what is the difference between how we're doing it, like the indie version of it, and what a record label would do, right? So, yes, let's get into it. I'm also going to be talking about the issues that we have with the service that we use, right? Okay. So let's get into it. The first thing we need to do is create WAV files for optimal audio content. So for the podcast, the audio content, like this audio file that you're listening to, is an MP3 file, right? So I take that MP3 file and I upload it to Caproni.fm. Check it out for your podcast hosting needs. Okay. So for the audio content of the album, it's a WAV file. And this is because WAV file apparently is the best audio content for listening, I guess. And so before I got on Caproni, all the audio files of the podcast were WAV files, and they were huge. Like a 26-minute podcast would be 250 megabytes. And now my 33-minute interview with Josh was like 30, right? So they're a lot bigger, right? And then, so then I have to upload those WAV files to our service. But first I need to create a album cover. So we created the album cover. It's just a simple square, 3,000 pixels by 3,000 pixels. And then you need to get your album on every service possible, kind of like podcasting, right? So this is why he reached out to me, because I have experience with all of this. And so I looked up how to get your album on Spotify, Tidal, Napster, Apple, and they told us that we needed to use a service, and it listed all these services. And then I see CDBaby, right? And I'm a huge Derek Sivers fan, so I knew of them. I was like, even though I know he's not associated with it, I was like, okay, I'm using CDBaby no matter what, right? And so that was cool. So they have you fill out all this information, right? So they start out with the basic information: the artist name, the title of the album, the release date, the record label, copyright owner, and UPC. And what the UPC is it helps us get paid. So CDBaby collects all the royalties, and you need a different UPC for every album you produce. And this is like the little barcode on the album cover that you used to see when it was like CDs, right? So yeah, you go basic information, UPC. Then they ask you, do you want physical or digital copies, right? So they would help you make a CD if you want. I kind of wanted to do this because it's pretty cool, like just to have it and maybe play it, but I don't have anywhere to play an album, right? I don't have a CD player anymore, not on my laptop. So I was like, let's not do that. But like for the book, I wanted to do that. I wanted to like have a book and put it on my shelf, and I'd be able to pull it out whenever someone asked me, right? But I didn't do that. All right, so the next thing you do on CDBaby is you create the track list. And this is just literally like saying, this is how many this is how many, so this is side A, side B, like volume 1, volume 2, how many tracks are on the album, and then just listing the names of every track list, or for every track, right? It's very simple, very straightforward. Takes 2 seconds in this part, and then the majority of the work is after the track list. So next is the song credits. It has you list the artists who are on the track. So let's say if I had Kid Cudi on the track, then I'd put, alright, Kid Cudi was on this song. And then there's parental advisory. Is it explicit or is it clean, right? Are there any swear words? Then it's the language. Yeah, is it English, Spanish, Dutch? Is the song recorded live? Is it an original composition? Is it a cover, or is it public domain? So this is like is the song originally created by you and written by you, or is it like a Nirvana cover? Did Nirvana write the lyrics? Or is it public domain? Is it like singing, not Happy Birthday, but like very common known song, right? Song credits, is anyone featured, right? Who wrote it? Did Kid Cudi write it, or did SupremeRumHam write it, right? And you got to do this manual, one by one. You got to go track by track. So if it's 10 tracks, it's pretty easy. If it's 40, it's gonna take you a while because you have to click through and just, check every box every time. There's no like everything the same button. Yeah, so that sucks. And then you pick the genre, G-N-R-E, yes, not E-R, R-E. Okay, so you pick the genre, you say, alright, this is a rock album, this is rap, this is country, and then you pick the mood. And the mood is like, is it funny? Is it casual? Is it relaxed? And then you pick the recording location, and it gives you like a bunch of hubs. It's not like California. It's like San Francisco, LA, Houston. It's not like, oh, I can put San Jose, right? So yeah, and then distribution. It asks you, do you want to pick, like, what streaming services do you want it on? And it lists 150, right? And this is why I chose to use CDBaby as well, because I can't get the album on 150 platforms myself. Like even with podcasting, I've missed a couple, right? So yeah, it lists a bunch. It'll even put it on TikTok, which I think is pretty cool. So it's, yeah, like TikTok, Tidal, Spotify, and Spotify's the big one. Yeah, and then it's just like streaming from every, like other country streaming platforms. It's not just like US, It's like the ones from that are Europe exclusive. So that's pretty cool, right? And then I recommend doing them all. And it even asks you like, oh, here are the ones that are paid. Here are the ones that are unpaid. Do you still want to do the ones that are unpaid? And I say just do it because you have nothing to lose. Like, it doesn't cost you any money to put them on those free platforms. And if someone finds your music and like starts telling their friends about it and they start listening to the album on Spotify, which is where you would get paid, then yeah, it's very simple, right? Okay. And then for distribution, the next step they ask you is pre-sale for iTunes. And what this is you pick a track people can listen to when they pre-order it, right? And then you pick a pre-sale date. So, Kid Cudi's last album, The Chosen, came out in December of 2020, and I pre-ordered it. I buy albums. I buy his albums. I don't buy anyone else's albums. When his albums come out, I pre-order them, right? And so you set a date, and then you pick a track from the album that people will be able to listen to when they pre-order it. So I don't remember the track he let me listen to, or if there was one, because it was like a week for his album in between like when I pre-ordered it and when the album came out. So of course you have the option to not have a pre-order track, but you can. And yeah, so we chose that. And then so the album, it comes out in May, and we chose a date in April, and it's like a month in between the pre-order and the album release date, because I made a mistake with the book. I announced the book in April, and I said July, and I think it'd be really good to have a month where it's just like the pre-order phase, this is coming out, and we can announce like step by step, we're doing this for the album today, we're doing this for the album today, we're doing this and it's 28 days, we're doing this and it's 25 days until the album comes out. So we're gonna try that and see if that works. I don't know, dude. Okay, so then iTunes wants to know if you have any tracks that are 10 minutes or longer, right? So the reason why they ask this is because iTunes makes tracks that are 10 minutes or longer album only. So on iTunes you can buy songs for, I think it's $1.99 or $2.99. You can buy these single tracks instead of buying the whole album. But with this 10-minute track, you can only buy it with the whole album. I don't know why they do that. I even had to look this up. CDBaby didn't tell me. So I just thought that was pretty interesting. Okay. Territory restrictions. So it's like, hey, do you want to not let some other country or area listen to this album? You know, maybe you don't like people from California and you don't want to let them buy your album. I totally understand. I don't like people from California, and I'm in California. So that's totally cool if you don't like people from California. I'm okay with that. Let me know even. We'll talk about it, right? We'll bond over the fact that we don't like people from California. Okay. So then you upload the audio, right? And you do this one by one as well. So it lists every track, and it just says like upload. Like you do it one by one, but you can upload it all at the same time. It just makes it like slower to process everything. I remember. So our track is it's 21. Our album is 21 tracks, right? So I just took I did all of them at once, and so I did all 21, and then the first one hadn't loaded, and then I left and went to go get some water, and it was still at like 15 even after like 3-4 minutes. So yeah, it takes a while. I don't know if loading them one by one would be faster. I don't know. And then it takes 1 to 3 weeks to inspect, right? A little slow. I don't know what they're inspecting. I should ask. That'd be really interesting to find out. Yeah. So then this is like we're in like the 3rd week, and then last week we were on the YouTube channel, and the audio content got flagged by CDBaby, because they were like, oh, you don't own this audio content, we do. And it said like, this is property of our company. So that was cool. That only took 2 weeks, right? And it got flagged because it's like, oh, you need to pay these guys, right? So for every time that gets played on YouTube, that's going to be a royalty. And that's what CDBaby does, is it collects royalties for you, right? So yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan of CDBaby, but it has issues, right? And the one issue that we ran into several times is just that it's super manual on like basic things. We forgot the password, right? So we had to have an email exchange with their support to change it. And even when I was running Open Podcasts, the forum, like, you could do it automatically. All you had to do was click forgot my password, and an email would be sent to you that I set up. So that's like things that you don't need to, that's not things that need to be manual. And I had more than one attempts to have an exchange with someone to get the password changed. So here's how it goes with CDBaby, right? You click forgot my password, and then they're like, okay, we'll send you an email, but also you have to email support, right? So then you have to say, oh, I forgot my password, and then they're like, okay, we'll send you a link in a couple of days, right? It's not like you click the button, then you get the email, right? So yeah, and then they're like, yeah, the email lasts 72 hours. So if you submit your forgotten password on Monday and you forget till Friday, then you have to do it over, right? That was annoying. And then, of course, another issue was the no same info button. It wasn't, you had to do it manually again. And then this is why I think it takes 1 to 3 weeks to inspect, is that they do it manually. Like, there's no, okay. So what they're doing is they're making sure that all the info is good for Spotify, Apple, Tidal, and they don't have a program for this. Like, there's no, okay, this is a red flag, this is a red flag. There's someone checking it manually, and that's why I think it takes 1 to 3 weeks. Okay. So, there's indie, and then there's record labels that help you get money, make money in the music industry. Like, the usual path is you make your music, you get signed to a label, and then the label helps you. And so traditionally, you'd sign with the label. Well, not traditionally. So traditionally, when you work with the label, they would give you an advance for the album to finish recording the album, right? And then they would handle promotion, distribution, concerts, setting up interviews, and they'd give you money, right? So they give you like $200,000 to finish the album, and that's an advance, right? But the thing with that is that the record label gets paid first on the album. So let's say they give you $200,000 to finish the album. Then you're all done, it's ready to go, and then you start doing concerts, you start doing interviews, you start making money on the album, right? The record label gets paid first. So in some cases, the band or the artist doesn't see a dollar until the record label gets their advance first. The advance is a loan. It's not a payment or anything. It's not a paycheck. It's a loan. Okay. So yeah, that's all I have for this episode. CDBaby provides promotional tools to help artists promote the album, and I will be talking about that in a future episode. So stay tuned if you like this episode. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye.